All right, hey everybody, welcome to the Dice Hour. I'm Tom Vassell. I can't see any of you, but I know there's a few of you out there. Thank you for wasting your time and taking time out of the show to come to our top 10 list. We have an hour, we want to get started, so let me introduce you to my co-host. First, the Velvet Voice, the ultimate werewolf, or one-night ultimate werewolf, Eric Summer. Then the man who stole my clothing, Z Garcia. And for the last time for a bit, we'll be sad to see him go, but we're glad he's here so we can make fun of his picks, Sam Healy. All righty, well, we lied to you and I apologize.
What? Oh, because I'm here?
Because Eric is here, first of all. He's not in the schedule, but he started weeping.
Nice things, Eric.
And then...
Wait, so I started weeping and that's why I'm here? No, I'm here so I can do the numbers, I think. Because none of you wanted to do it.
I forgot about that stupidity. No, but it's not a top 10, it's a top 7. All right, because 7 times 4 is 28, and, you know, one of us goes longer anyway. So we decided...
Talking about you, bro.
No.
Yeah.
We decided, since this is the last time we're going to be doing this with Sam at a show for a while, we're going to be super nice to each other.
I doubt that very much.
No.
Nobody ran that by me.
Nope.
Today we're talking about our top 10 unsung games. All right, so this time, for once, we put criteria on our list that we all followed.
Sure.
So what we did is...
I basically picked 10 games that I couldn't break out into song in the middle of, which is actually pretty hard for me. That is what everybody went with, right?
Unsung. You can't
list.
sing during them. Yeah, I get it.
What we're actually talking about are songs.
Yeah!
Thank you,
It
gentlemen.
worked. Well done.
We're talking about games that a lot of people don't talk about. So the criteria here is that on Board Game Geek, it's ranked 3,000 or lower. Why is that?
Oh, garbage
These are all
games.
terrible games.
Oh.
But for
we gotta go, honey.
What? I'm so sorry. We did this so Sam had to pick different games for once.
No.
But so for me, I picked games that I ranked either 8 or higher on my list when I went through these.
I think mine are all the same, yeah.
So far, so good.
I didn't live by those rules.
And we also, I picked, the order we put them in, or I put them in, is the lowest, like, ranked 3,400. The lowest ranked one is my number 1.
Okay.
Yes.
That's good.
This was not explained to me.
We talked about this in the studio.
You said pick the one you like the best. You gave me different rules.
No, that's okay.
Okay, that's fine.
Let's get started with number 7.
Number 7.
Number 7. All right, my number 7 is a game by Ankama, and Ankama, I think is how it's spelled. This is a game called Tales of Glory, and this was at 3,123. That was the rank spot on BGG. So this is a really neat game that has, first of all, it looks really good, as you can see right there. It's got a great table presence, but it's card drafting. It is simultaneous action selection. There is tile placement because you're building up your tableau with your different people. It's a really fun game, and I was really surprised actually to see how far down it was. If you haven't tried this game out, you really do need to give it a try because it is very fun, it looks great, and great games that look good are more fun to play. So there you have it.
Yeah, this is one I want to get to the table. I will say that we didn't pick games also that just came out and that are ranked really low, but we're pretty sure in a couple months will be much higher.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there's nothing past 2018, and there's few of those even.
Yeah.
All right, well, my pick, I had to get on my phone so I wouldn't make fun of Sam also, but to look up the rank, because I forgot to write down the ranks.
Why would you be on your phone to not make fun of Sam?
It distracts me.
him.
You know, it's like,
I want to make fun of him, I got to do something.
I want to jump on him, but I can't. No, I've actually never played his pick. All right, my number 7 is a game called Sheep and Thief, which he's actually played with me.
I have.
And you've played with me the original Japanese
Yes.
printing of this, but they reprinted.
I played this one too.
Pegasus Spiele reprinted it. It's a lovely edition, the reprint, and it is ranked 3,034. So this is the one that got closest to that cutoff of 3,000. I really enjoyed it. It kind of feels like Carcassonne, the card game. I know that exists.
I was just about to say, it's called Carcassonne.
Yeah. And it's not a very good game in my opinion. This feels like a Carcassonne card game. You are drafting cards for one thing, which is really neat, and then you're using those to build a path, trying to connect different cities, trying to collect sheep and keep them away from the wandering fox. I really enjoy it. I think it's a great, quick, bright, silly kind of looking game, but with a neat amount of tactics in it. So, Sheep and Thief.
Cool.
My number 7 is also a Carcassonne jumping off game. I always thought of it as an advanced Carcassonne. It's called Monastery from the Ragnar brothers. The real cool part about Monastery is these figurines. They're sort of meeples, I guess. They're monk meeples, and they can kneel. You can sort of see it in the picture here. And they get points for doing different things. They can lean forward and kneel, and there's sort of a time element to the game. And when a round is done, if you are kneeling in a particular place, you can earn points, or if you are working in the field, doing stuff.
Hey, Roy, can you go back a slide?
Did Carcassonne get royalties for this game?
This looks...
Oh my goodness.
There's a lot more like area majority and
I'm talking
stuff in
about
there.
the artwork.
It's like the dollar store version of Carcassonne.
But the monks, they kneel. It's adorable.
Okay.
Okay, they might be adorable, but that cover looks like a few possessed monks. I think the Nazis are using them to fight people.
But I'm not complaining about the art style. I'm saying it's a lovely game inside. Monastery, my number 7.
I told you.
All
See
your
how he put the
fears
cap
are
on the end of that?
confirmed.
Oh yeah, I'm swimming with sharks, folks. This
All
is.
right.
I'm so sorry, Eric. I'm on your side.
My number 7, ranked 3387, is Crossfire. Now, not the cool one from when we were kids and shot marbles. This one here came out, I don't know, like 3 years ago now,
like that,
from
yeah.
Emerson Matsuuchi, who everyone knows it makes great games. And this is a really fun social deduction game where one person is the assassin and another person's like a sniper, and they got to take out the assassin, but everyone is essentially lying to them. I'm like, it's definitely Eric, because it is.
No, of course not.
And they have to choose. It's really fast, it's really fun, and it's a small deck. It's in the same world as Spectre Ops, and I don't know why this one's not higher.
Yeah, there was
Plaid Hat
virtually
Games,
no fanfare when this came out. It just released and that was it. It was, no promotion at all.
This is also one of the few on that we've mentioned so far that you can still buy. Just saying. All right,
It's
my
a
number
very
7.
tiny game, too.
That's true.
You can carry in your pocket.
Yeah, but that means it might fall through the cracks when it comes to publicity.
Also,
The
Also, it's
literal
small and
cracks.
fall
Yeah,
through.
yeah, no, that too. Yeah, I used to own a copy. It fell in a manhole cover, and
what? That's a terrible joke. All right, go on,
I
Ed.
know.
Number 6.
All right, my number 6.
So dreamy.
Number 6 is a game put out by NSKN Games, now Boards and Dice, I believe is what they're called. 3154 is the rank of this one. It's called In the Name of Odin. In the Name of Odin, this is a
Viking game?
Yeah, Viking game. Yeah. Get it out.
Color
get
me
it out.
surprised.
Right, yeah, right. Well, in the name, I mean, look at it. It looks great. It's got a great map. It's got a great components. It's got great graphic design. It's a super game. Basically, you're going to be using action cards to build buildings in your village, to gain more recruits that you can put on the boats that you're also building so that you can go out and accomplish these different goals or quests that are out on the different parts of the board there. It's a really fun game, and it captures that. I guess you could, the same...
Vikings, just say
It captures the Vikings.
It captures this sort of Vikings.
Okay, yeah, we'll go with that. But it's really great, and it just has been under the radar. So I really enjoyed it. In the Name of Odin. Go
All
ahead.
right, come on, Amish.
Have you guys played it? In the Name of Odin?
No.
Yes, we played it. That was okay.
I don't
liked it.
think so.
You were there.
Then it's very forgettable because I don't remember that.
Block
All
it
right,
out.
my number. I try not to make fun of you, but then Tom made me.
Yes, I know. Did he make you dress like that?
No, this is all me, baby. I did it to myself.
So what you're saying is we all make mistakes in life.
Oh, yes.
Okay, good.
You know it. All right, my number 6 pick is a game called Deadline from WizKids. And this was slightly ahead
It's the
when
best
it came.
cover of all time.
It's it's a pulp sort of story
Wait, wasn't
cover,
this
right?
on our thing we did last year?
Why not?
And we made all the jokes about the cover last year.
Sure.
See last year for
You're
details.
nothing if not predictable, so yes. I would guess so. Anyway, this is one of those games in which you are trying to figure out a whodunit. What I like about this one is that it takes that style of game like Sherlock Holmes consulting detective, which is very free form. You just sort of investigate and you stop whenever you want to. You answer the questions whenever you feel like it. It's very shapeless, that game. This one has a real specific structure, and it feels like The Grizzled meets a whodunit. I really enjoy the way this game plays. You have 12 cases, I think, in the box, so there is a limited amount of replayability, but what's there works very well. It gives you that feeling of, being a gumshoe in this era, so I really enjoy this one. There are a lot of games in this category now. You've got the new, Detective City of Angels.
Yeah.
And that's a fantastic game. Looks better. It's a bigger game. But this is one that I don't think should be overlooked. So check it out. Deadline.
My number 6 comes in at $55.79 on Board Game Geek. It's a 2-player game from Rio Grande and designer Joe Huber. It's called Burger Joint.
I'm in.
So it's an engine builder. The 2 players start with either pizza stands or burger stands, and they can upgrade those into diners and then into like fine dining restaurants, which gives you special powers. And it's all about sort of progressively upgrading everything to be able to use those powers to more efficiently get through the game, score more points more quickly than your opponent. But it's also a cube drafting game. And the different cubes are worth different things to different people. So you have to watch what your opponent wants to do, take those things away from them, as well as gaining the resources that you need. It's a tense game and one I really enjoy. Number 6, Burger Joint.
Side note, it's okay. All right. I got to be honest. I don't want people
Sick
accidentally
burn right
buying
there.
this game.
Just accidentally.
If you tried Food Chain Magnate and that was too much for you, Burger Joint.
It's slightly
It's
simpler.
what's for dinner.
What's for dinner?
My number 6 sounds like a medicine. Epico. Epico is a abstract strategy game they were selling in the hallways of Gen Con one year.
In the hallways of
Yeah,
Gen-
like you
Sure,
walked around
just
the
out of a
corner and they
bag.
were like, hey, we got
You want to buy a game?
Really?
It's a really great abstract strategy game in which you are programming these tiles, these numbers on the board, and then they push each other around, and you're trying to push the opponent's tiles off the board. It looks amazing, as you can see. But
Yep.
it's quite clever. I really enjoy this one, and I never saw these guys again after that year.
Yeah, because the cops were looking for him.
Yeah.
But it is, if you see this at like a flea market or something, definitely grab it. Epico.
I think this one committed the sin that drives me nuts when there are like a million variants in the rule book. They're like, here are 8 different ways to play this game, and it was hard to figure out what the real way to play is. And it was like 4 different rule sheets.
I do hate that.
I hate it
You
also, but it's a good game.
You decide the best way to play and tell me.
Tell me what your game is, and then maybe variants.
A couple.
I got
That's
a
it.
long. We can't go on this way. We got to go on. I have a lot of things to say
Can't go
about
on. Can't go on.
Number 5.
Right.
that. He didn't even put any effort in that.
You want me to put effort into it?
Do
Sam.
it again.
Come on, go ahead.
Number 5. You asked for it,
Bringing out the big guns. All right, my number 5 is ranked number 3369 when last I checked.
Gross.
This is from, I forgot that company, but it's called Raids Yellow. That's what it is. Thank you. Raids.
It says it on the.
It's right there, yellow.
I know, I didn't see it
Okay.
before I said it. Come on. Anyway, Raids is a really neat game where you have the mechanism where you can move as far around the board as you want to choose the action that you want to take, but you can never go backwards. So you can actually make it around the board faster, and sometimes it's better to do that, but you're going to be taking fewer actions. And that's one of the cool things that I like about it. I like that mechanism, and that's pretty much what this game is all about. You are just trying to score the most points by the end of the game. Filling up your boat with different shields will get you points. Hunting different animals will get you points. Having the most Vikings on your ship at the end of the game will get you some more points as well.
The most
Those
what?
kinds of
Excuse me?
things.
I have a question.
Yes. Raise your hand.
The most what will get you points?
Vikings.
No further questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
It is
prosecution rests.
it's a great looking game, and that's one of the things that I really wanted to try to go for with most of my games on this list. We'll talk more about
Wait,
that
are we
later.
doing
But,
the same
Objection,
topic?
bleeding.
Are we doing the same topic?
Huh?
This is top 10 unsung games, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Unsung Viking game.
You gave me a number.
Got
You
it.
gave me a number to go by.
All right.
That is your fault, not mine.
If Viking and below 3,000, then add to list.
Yes.
The search tools on Board Game Geek are very powerful.
This is pretty simple for me. This was a
Strong
simple
with
list for me.
basic.
This is the last pirate game. This is the last Viking game on my list.
the
So
next
there
one's
is
a
that.
pirate game.
Thanks, appreciate that.
You said it.
I did. But that is my number 5, Raids.
All right, my number 5 is a 2-player game. This is one of the more recent ones, but it's still been out for over a year at this point. I don't think it's going to rise much more than this, unfortunately. It's a game called Caper, and it is a reprint of a Spanish game, a game from Spain. The
Is
original
that what Spanish means?
of a Spanish game could have been. Someone might have thought I meant maybe like a Colombian game. I wanted to be clear.
Spanish language game
Oh.
versus a
Could have
game
said a
from-
Spaniard game, and that would have been better. But
Then why didn't you? Go
anyway,
ahead.
this
Go
is this game
I'll be
is.
back in a minute.
Yeah, take a break, baby. This one is all about sending out your characters who are all thieves and ne'er-do-wellers. Is that a thing?
No.
No, good. You're going to be sending them out. You're going to be giving them gear, spy gear, that sort of thing, and then trying to compete over, well, victory points for one thing, but also locations. And it kind of feels like a 2-player version of Seven Wonders. Again, I know that exists, but it doesn't really feel like Seven Wonders.
He's
You know,
doing
I
like a
take-
sub list here, isn't he?
Games that are
Games
should
that
have
feel
been
like
the
other
2-player.
games, but
But
those
not.
games actually do exist, but they don't feel like the original game, so I'm giving you the one that does. Make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a longer title though, so we went with Unsung Games.
It's the same meaning. Anyway, I really like Caper. I think it's a great game. It looks fantastic. The reprint is from Keymaster, and they are on fire for me. I think that company is really doing great stuff. The games always look good. They're picking good projects to either put out or reprint. So you got to check this one out. If you haven't played it, you like 2-player games, and you like drafting with 2 that works, you got to check out Caper. So my number 5 pick.
My number 5 comes in at 13,412
What?
on Board Game Geek.
Well,
Whoa.
a lot of his games do.
I think I
Rose.
It is a super small press abstract game called Node. The publisher is Level Zero Games. It was, very, basically just a whole bunch of cards. You
Wasn't
had to
this
cut
like
out.
a web page they sold the pixels
They
to
need to
people
level up.
on?
Maybe, yeah, like it's all the gifts that you can buy, before they were animated, before they moved. So you actually had to cut out the pieces.
I'm out.
Yeah. There were like
How
3 of
can
them
you
on a card.
recommend that?
Because
That
the
might
game
be-
is cool.
that
So
might be worse than
on each card, you've got
models.
6 of these icons, and you're trying to get the largest grouping of a particular icon and then protect it from being claimed by other people. So you have to sort of pile the cards onto each other. You're stacking them. There was another game similar to this called Bloom. I think Hanging Gardens did something similar. But
Very
this
good
one was
games, yes.
this one is lovely. It's but because it's such a small press and not the best production, it has sort of disappeared into the ether.
Is the company named Level Zero Games?
It's called Level
They
Zero.
know where they
Games.
fit in.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
They know where
if
they
you
rank
come
on the
across
totem pole,
the game,
right?
it's a lovely
Oh, sorry.
abstract
Wow.
with some subtle strategy, and I enjoyed it. Number 5, Node.
It's a looker.
It's an aesthetic, you know. They made choices.
It's a choice. Kind of like this is a choice.
Yes.
That's a choice.
That's a choice.
That's actually what inspired me today.
Both bad choices, yes.
My number 5 is a game I'm hoping to see come back in print at some point, and that's Nobody But Us Chickens. This is ranked 4,825 from a company called Dancing Eggplant. Well, their name was Diet Evil Games, and families were afraid to buy them. So they changed the name to Dancing Eggplant because that made a lot more sense.
Well, and they wanted to keep the same acronym. They had like monogrammed all their towels first.
That's probably true, actually.
Yeah.
So, in this game, you have a bunch of cards, chicken cards, dog cards, fox and rat cards, and you just play one at the same time as everyone else, reveal them and see what happens. It's one of those style games, but it's one of the best of those. It's very quick, very easy, play 6 players. I played this one this year, actually, which is very rare for me to play a game a year. Really like it. It's portable. Like I said, I hope to see this one come back in print. So that's Nobody But Us Chickens.
I'm gonna call it. I don't think it's coming back into print.
You've played it.
Doesn't mean I like it.
You actually.
Are any of those dogs Vikings?
That dog is definitely confused. Look at him. I mean, he's like, what's going on?
It's a pretty bad dog there, right?
Yeah, he's like
Shall we
clearly
move on?
clueless.
Let's
The chickens he's looking for is
We'll wait
right
for
behind
you.
him.
Do it.
Number 4.
Ooh, it's going down.
I know.
Oh, that was only
Well, I didn't put as much oomph into it. Number 4.
People are gonna have to wash after this. Go
that
ahead.
was a pity clap if I've ever heard one.
It was.
That's all right, buddy. You got a
working
nice
on it.
voice. Don't worry about it.
Thank you.
Can I go now?
Yes.
Okay, good. My number 4 is ranked 3914 on the Geek, and it is called Pirates of the Seven Seas. Not a Vikings game.
You know, there's a fine line between Pirates and Vikings.
But there is a line between Pirates and Vikings.
I like it. It's very
Checks out.
Pirates
They're
of the
different.
Seven Seas had a very similar mechanism that was employed in another larger game that, and I can't remember the name of it.
You're talking Rattle Battle,
Vikings.
Shake
Yeah,
the Loot?
Rattle Battle, Grab the Loot, or whatever it's called. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it was also a pirate-themed game, but this one did basically the same thing that Rattle Battle, Grab the Loot did, but in a better way. And some of the better way that it was done is pretty mechanically speaking, because, for example, you throw a bunch of dice into the top of the box, which you do the same thing here, but the top of the box for Rattle Battle, Grab the Loot was thicker. This one was thinner, so it was a lot easier to read the dice. It was a lot easier to measure distance between the dice, that type of stuff.
Right.
So that's why I liked this one better than Rattle Battle Grab the Loot, because I didn't dislike that one. I hate saying the name of that one.
Just
anyway.
say it again. What
No,
game
I'm
is
not
that?
going
Rattle Battle, Grab the Loot?
But I didn't dislike that one. I just thought that this one did it better. So this is the one that I gravitated towards, and it's largely overlooked. I don't know that you can even get this anymore. It's by IDW Games, but it's a great game, so if you see it, try to pick it up. Pirates of the Seven Seas.
Did you said you liked Rattle Battle, Grab the Loot?
It frustrated me because I did
Which
want to
one?
like it. I'm not going to say it anymore. It frustrated me because I liked it, but it was clunky because that box was just too deep.
That's the problem you have with the box?
He doesn't like to stand up.
The Rattle Battle box.
Yes.
Too much.
Right.
I did not like Rattle Battle, Grab the Loot at all.
Yeah,
Let's
well,
move on. I can't
yeah.
keep saying the name
All
of this
right,
game.
fine. My number 4 pick
Is Rattle
Battle. Grab that loot. No, my number 4. Thanks for stealing my joke.
I'm
No,
sorry.
actually, that was
Yeah,
you. That was you.
me.
Okay. My number 4 pick is a game called Skyward. And this is an I Split You Choose game.
It's very pretty.
I prefer it with 2 players because you are splitting fewer things. The game moves a little bit quicker, but it's 2 through 4. And you are, the theme here being a sky city, you are building buildings in the sky, something like that, splitting
You're building
different
skyward. Yes.
building, yes, well, it's like floating cities. You are managing a few different factions. Again, it's pretty straightforward drafting, but it is a pretty game. It is a quick game, and I like that mechanism anyway, right? Where you split 2 things and the other player picks first, and you get the
that's cool.
leftover. Not a lot of games use it, and this one does it in a really neat way, and that is you are managing. Some of the cards are going to give you resources on the card. You can cash that in, but you are also collecting gears, and that gear is a wild resource. You are also collecting and making available in one of the two piles the start player token, the one who's going to be splitting. So there are neat things to sort of put on the table and allow people to think about and decide the way they want to go. Lots of cards work together, of course. So you want to, you know, if I know you want that card, I'm making that the poorer pile and hoping you're tempted enough to take it and I'll get lots of goodies. Really neat stuff. I like it a lot. This is going to be hard to get. I believe the company is out of business now. So if you find it, give it a go. I really like it. Skyward.
Sounds fun.
It is.
Coming in at 5903 on the Board Game Geek charts is a game from WizKids and Eric M. Lang. It's called Trains and Stations.
Ooh, that's a good pick.
That is really low down.
Thank you.
That deserves to be higher.
It's a dice rolling, pick up and deliver route building game. You roll these dice and you sort of place them on the board as track segments. You get bonuses for connecting to cities and delivering cargo and all sorts of cool point gathering activities. But it uses these dice in a nice novel way. I'm not sure why it disappeared.
Well, there's a couple reasons. One, the board was too small.
So usually boards fold. This one did not. It was the size of the box, maybe about this big, and that's it. That's the board. So there wasn't a lot of real estate on there.
Two, the name and the cover don't inspire like.
But it's got trains and stations. Come on.
Three, it wasn't something WizKids was known for. They were doing.
That's true.
At this time, they were doing mostly Dice Masters. Four, it is a little samey if you play it a lot. Five, Eric Lang isn't very well known.
Yeah.
So.
Well, people probably looked at that and thought, Eric M. Lang? Yeah.
This
trying
was actually
trying to pull a fast one, are you?
This actually,
Fast.
I think this came out like before Blood Rage and all that.
Yeah,
too,
it did.
though.
Yeah,
it did.
Anyway, that's number 4. Trains and stations.
That's a good pick.
It is.
All right, my number 4 is a game that I am really trying to get reprinted at some point. It's by one of my least favorite designers too, Leo Calavini, and that is Vabank. That's because Bruno Feduti stuck his fingers in that pie, and the two of them made an amazingly fun bluffing game. I love Vabank. It is a game in which you move your pawn around from table to table, but then you place cards at these tables and you can double the amounts or cheat and steal the money from everybody else. By the time this game's over, you will have hundreds of thousands of dollars. So much fun. Man, I just love Vabank. It's like a 6-player game, very entertaining, lots of chips. You guys like it? No?
I don't think I've played this.
Nope.
I know you've owned a copy for a long time. It's the only one I've ever seen, actually. It's a very rare game. It kind of up and vanished. But I don't know. It just never attracted me. I don't like this.
Well, the cover is amazing.
I don't like the aesthetic, for one thing. But I also don't like necessarily that wheeling and dealing vibe. You like those games.
It's not wheeling and dealing. It's just basically lying, and we all know you like that.
I disagree.
Proof.
Yeah.
That was a lie. Yeah.
My number 4, Vabank.
Number 3.
Ooh. You were practicing that one.
Repetition.
It's still pity.
All right, my number 3 comes in at 4254 for the rank here, and this is a game called Tsukiji. If I'm not mistaken, Tsukiji is a port city in Japan and that is known for its trading of different fish. It's a fishing village, fishing port. And this is a really neat game that is all about that. You're simply collecting different sets and scoring them in for different points, but it looks really cool as well. Now, that picture there doesn't show off a lot of the score board takes up most of the picture, but all of these different cards have a lot of really good artwork on them, and that's what you're really looking at for most of the game. So it has a very cool aesthetic appeal to it, but it's also a really fun game as well. So it's just been...
What is going on in that picture?
They're chopping fish.
They're like all grabbing fish, and the guy working there is a sumo wrestler.
What? That's my fish.
That's his breakfast, and they're trying to buy it from him, I guess, maybe. I don't know.
Like they're coming around the corner
I
and
like
yelling
everybody
at him.
holding up a ticket. I don't know what's going on with that.
That's money.
It's a raffle. It's a
Is
fish raffle.
Is that money? Is that what that's meant to be?
Sure.
I do like that artwork a lot, though.
That's great.
Yeah.
Actually, I have played
You
this.
see
I
the
played
cat
this with you.
that's stealing a fish from the roof?
So it is.
Oh, Snapple.
See? It's stuff like this. It's just, see, you're proving my point. It's got great artwork.
And we're not arguing.
Yeah,
So
you are.
good.
I've never
Anyway,
heard of this.
that's my number 3, Tsukiji.
I played this with you, and I really did like it.
Yeah, it's a really
very
fun
good.
game.
I really did enjoy that one. I wasn't
actually- I
pretending
wasn't- I
like
wasn't-
all
Of
the
these
other
7,
times.
that's the one I played,
Out
and
of
I
all
liked.
your picks, this one isn't garbage.
Thanks.
I mean, there might be others that aren't, but this one isn't.
Well, I mean, with your list, I don't have to make that delineation. It's,
They're all good. I get it.
They're all garbage.
All right, my number 3 is a game called Perfect Alibi. This one is a deduction game. I know.
Look at that cover.
I know.
No
That's
doubt
the
about what's
cover?
going on there.
Why
Listen,
didn't this one sell?
Clearly, something is afoot on the cruise ship.
Look for the clues. What
Come
could
on
be
out
wrong?
to the Dice Tower Cruise, everybody. Yeah, I don't know why this didn't sell better. This is a deduction game in which you have to figure out, well, clearly who drove that spear through that man. And it's sort of a clue-style game, figure out the missing information, but it's really neat because it's a very small footprint one. You are going to be asking questions of the other players and all of that, but everybody has a unique power in the game that they can be taken and drafted from the other players. And they're going to break some rule, one rule. You can, if you want one, you can take one from somebody else. That's your whole turn, though, so you're not making any forward progress in your deduction if you do so. But some of them let you answer something by lying by one. Some of them, when you're supposed to give information to everyone publicly, you give them information privately, or rather, you get information privately. Some of them, you get to peek at someone else passing information. You're like, well, I'm this character, so I get to see what you found out also. All these neat little twists on the formula. It's a short game. It's punchy. I really enjoy this one. So, yeah, Perfect Alibi. Ignore the cover. It's not bloody or anything.
I'm trying to think. Okay, so was it from another ship? I'm looking at
Yeah,
this.
you mean you need height for one
Where
thing.
did they? Was there someone?
No,
in the
it's definitely, it was definitely shot at the same level, and he's
Oh, he
slumped
slumped
over,
forward.
so it
Yeah,
looks
but
like it's
then
being
that means they were
pointed
like
down.
5 feet behind him.
It was Aquaman.
It was
You
Aquaman
solved
the
the
whole
whole game.
time.
He's a villain in this universe.
The
Yeah,
war
yeah.
against the surface has begun. Perfect Alibi.
That's right.
Okay.
There you go.
Mine
better
is
see.
slightly less stabby. My number 3 comes in at 16,124 on Board Game Geek.
Nice.
It is a trivia party game called Seen It. It uses a DVD. So I think this has gotten dismissed as like a throwaway trivia game. But what I like about Seen It is that it structures many of its questions in ways that are not necessarily about your straight up knowledge of, say, Star Trek or classic TV shows. It also has video clues that are about observation and that can work well as a group, like family game. You split into teams and get the kids and the adults playing together. I also think this suffered from a glut of versions. There's a movie, there's Harry Potter, there's a million different editions. Also the fact that no one has a DVD player anymore. Still.
So we talked about this on the podcast.
Yeah.
And I asked you to do research into whether you could play this without the DVD.
I have been unable to find a way to play it without the DVD.
Got it.
But if you have
So-
a DVD player, play Seen It. My number 3.
I would give you a lot more grief on this,
But you don't have time.
but I got the time.
Well, then do it.
And you
No.
got the DVD player.
No. Let's just hold on for a bit. All right,
Wait
my
a
number
bit.
3.
Whoa.
Oh, wait, he's got a DVD game on his
Oh,
list.
I know what it is, too.
All right,
He
I
does.
think I know what it is.
my number 3. Okay, so sometimes there are great ideas that do not pan out. And thus it is, Calliope Games started a great designers series. Or what's it called? Legendary designers?
Yeah.
Where they went around and found great designers,
Legendary design.
legendary designers like Eric Lang and all these people to give them games. And I don't know if any of you, maybe you kickstarted this, and these designers who then apparently reached in their back drawer and gave Calliope whatever game they could find. That's what it felt like. Oh, they're mostly bad.
You subscribe to this entire grouping, right? Like you could pay for the entire set.
Yes,
right?
and
But
I
without
played-
seeing what was in the set.
I played almost all of them, and they're all pretty bad except for
It's kind of
this
like
one.
it's kind of like buying a greatest hits of like music collection without ever hearing any of the
Any
songs.
of the songs on the collection, yeah.
You're like, yeah, I'm sure they're good.
Yeah, they're all good artists.
Yeah, so, I mean, some of them were okay. Like, Eric Lang's game was okay, but it wasn't great. Anyway, this one, though, I really liked, and that is Capital City. This one is ranked 9,324. It's from James Ernest, who, I mean, when I looked at the cover of this one, I have to be honest, I saw this one, I was like, oh, you know, here's another one in this series. But I really did enjoy this one. It is a train robbing, sort of. You're building a city, you're building a town, you're using these cards, and you're getting these train cars to do that. And it's kind of like a bidding against other players, and then you have cards that give you income of victory points and money, and it's really snappy, it's really tight, and it's really well done. It is easily the best game in this series, and yet I feel like, by the time this came out, I think it was like game 4 or 5, people were like, yeah, well, I'm done with this. And B, I don't know that a lot of people look at that and go, that is the game I want to play, a wolf with a pickaxe on his shoulder.
Next to the haberdashery.
Haberdasheries are pretty cool. We shouldn't be judging, Eric.
I wasn't judging, I was simply noticing.
I mean, everyone in that town is wearing a nice hat.
Because of the haberdashery.
But it's a really well done game.
Dude's got holes in his hat.
That came after the purchase. It doesn't come under warranty at that haberdashery.
Oh, okay, got it. So he did it himself for speed draw.
Aesthetics. Less air resistance. Anyway,
My number 3 is Capital City. We've stopped caring.
number 2.
Yeah.
All right, my number 2 clocks in at number 5,745.
That was like his 10.
It's got a really dirty theme to it.
Oh, yeah, okay, everyone's like, oh, come on, whatever. It's
It's about
pigs.
mud, isn't it?
Pigs?
Vikings in mud.
Vikings in mud?
Pirates
Wait,
in
is
mud.
this the pooping game?
Pecunia non-ole.
Are you kidding
Money
me?
don't stink, baby.
We're in front of an audience.
That's right.
You disgust me.
It's the best way to tell people about a game, especially a game about pooping. Something we all do. Come on, we're all common
Look at
people,
that
right?
picture.
We all have to do this. You, basically in this game, you are the owner of a group of outhouses, and you're trying to get different citizens in Rome to come through your particular outhouse. The problem is, some of them had Mexican food, and some of them ate a little bit lighter, and so they'll come through, and those are the guys you want because they're in and out, boom, boom, they're done. But some of those other people that had heavier lunches and dinners, they're going to take a little bit longer, and that's bad because it blocks that part of your outhouse up. So
I can't keep this up, man.
You
Come
want-
on, wrap it up. Stop talking about poop.
the whole thing is that you want to be regular. You want to get people in and out fast. And you score more points, you get more money for that. So you keep the flow going, and it's good. So that's my number 2, Pecunia non-ole. That's right. That's right.
This is the equivalent of Sam's mic drop moment. He's like, I'm leaving, and this is what I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Is that what you want your legacy to be?
If it puts a smile on people's faces, I don't care.
Look, it doesn't put a smile on people's faces.
Maybe not yours.
Oh,
They clapped. They
They were all
enjoyed it.
laughing and
Yeah.
having a great time.
Yeah, okay.
Fine. It's
That's
okay.
right.
Let them have
It's-
some
Let
fun.
him have some
It's
fun.
There are simple joys, and there's nothing wrong with
I tell you
those.
what, though,
It's a game where after it happens, you feel good.
I
It's
think
a,
Z
it's a
needs to
joke
start
that
now.
keeps on giving.
That's right.
I
Like
wa-
Mexican food.
I watched Jason and Sam play this one time. I didn't realize Jason knew so many
poop
words
jokes. Yes.
for poop. I didn't know there was that many synonyms, and I know this because I looked them up the first time we played this,
Jokes on
so I
you,
could casually drop them in on the game conversation.
Wait, you did research before you played?
No, while we were playing, I was like, stealthily looking on my phone, and I would like, oh, and then I would make some sort of euphemism, and they were like, wow, you're
Yes.
pretty smart.
And
I
as we've
am.
established, Jason then makes a single entendre because he's not very good at subtly making.
No, he's good at this one.
Oh, this one he's okay.
Jason is
If
good
it's-
at.
Yes.
If it's fecal matter related, he's very subtle.
Well, great. Then that's
Great. I'm going to go ahead and do mine.
Yeah, go ahead.
If it's all the same.
Do. No, do. Go, please.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Please.
All right, my number 2 here is a game called Monster Trick, which now sounds dirty. The monster, the greatest trick the monster ever pulled was making you pay to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
What?
This is a trick-taking game in which you are going to be playing multiple tricks at once. You have a hand of cards. You're going to be laying those cards down to different ongoing tricks. You can follow suit if you can. If you cannot, you can play a normal card. And there's a token on each of the concurrently running tricks to denote who is winning at that moment. The neat thing is, there's no set order as to where you play. So if you want to not play somewhere because you don't want to win that one, you can try to run that color out elsewhere. So that by the time you do have to play to it, you don't have that color. You can't win it. So it's really neat. And so as you are winning things, you're scoring more, but as your score goes up, eventually it cycles back around to a really bad score. So sometimes you don't want to win, and if you do win one more, well, then you better make sure you win
a
3.
lot more.
Right, so it's got that cool cyclical feel to it. I really enjoy this. It's one of my favorite trick-taking games. It's criminally underrated. I don't think a lot of people know about it. And I think my version is a German version. I think the English version, which exists clearly, is very hard to find. I've never seen it. I'm aware it's out there somewhere because, well, the images exist. So if you ever come across this and you like trick-taking games at all,
Give it to Z.
definitely recommend you buy it, call me. I'll trade you my German version for it. You know that's the one you want anyway.
I mean, Ravensburger's here. You could just march on down and demand it. Do you have
Tell
Monster
them-
Trick in stock? And
Tell them I sent you.
Yeah.
This
That's
is
my
gonna,
number 2 pick. What? What's wrong?
No, people are going to do that now.
I know. It's true.
Good.
Terrible
Z
advice.
Garcia said you had this at our. At
They said you had it in stock. Yeah, don't do
Shaking their booth. We want Monster Trick. I'll come the pitchforks.
Because people carry those around. Go get the pitchfork from the car.
Yeah.
My number 2 is 9,658 on Board Game Geek. I don't know why, considering the flashy cover art that you will see in just a moment, it's
here we
called
go.
Quicksilver.
Oh.
Looks like somebody's yearbook.
Now,
If only it showed what happens in the game, which is a Zeppelin racing game where you're flying around, avoiding buildings, clouds of flying mines, turrets on those buildings, mountains, shooting at other Zeppelins, trying not to collide with stuff. It's a very fun race game.
Wait, that game
that-
comes in that box?
That is exactly what's in there. Yes. And it's got a lovely aesthetic where you're all sort of like prim and proper British, and it comes with a cardboard mustache that you can use to taunt
Okay.
your opponents.
I'm giving props to Sam's poop game. Cardboard mustache, that's the best you got?
No,
I am still convinced that Eric likes this game because of the cardboard mustache.
it plays a part.
Because
It plays
Eric,
a part.
look, I would not accuse Eric of lying very often, but he just said stuff like zipping around and flying and shooting, and that's all a flat-out lie.
No, you do these things.
You do them, but it's kind of like when you listen to something on YouTube and you slow it down for fun. That's what this game is. It's like, I will shoot you, and the guy's like, I'm going to turn my thing. And the game moves so slowly that your boredom can't even catch up.
No, it's
What
called
the mustache is for, baby.
Yeah, that livens it up.
That's what
Mustache keeps it moving.
You
Yeah.
can put the mustache in any game and make it better then.
Sure.
Put it in Sam's game.
Yeah, I
No,
mean,
that's disgusting.
it might. You do need to
Brush
keep it
that
moving.
out. Wash your face.
You do need to keep it moving. Yeah, that's true.
If the mustache is somehow involved, you're doing it wrong.
Or something has terribly gone wrong. Yes.
Just say.
My number 2, Quicksilver.
It's not a good game, folks. Don't. I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry, Eric. That looks terrible.
I love it.
You really do.
I do.
And every time I talk to the company, they're like, Eric likes Quicksilver. I'm like, I know. He is the one. All right. I don't say that. That's mean. All right, my number 2 is Monopoly. Tropical Tycoon.
I thought so.
Ranked 13,365. Now, I know I would not have bought this normally because you look at it and it says, well, Monopoly. And then the aesthetics and the Tropical Tycoon and the fact that it's a DVD. But this one was designed by
That's
Rob.
the wrong picture.
That's fine. It's the same
it's
garbage.
Fine.
Wait.
I think that was on the nose.
Yeah, okay.
not
Well,
the
did
Keep talking about
I
it.
put the wrong picture in there?
Most
did.
definitely.
Okay, anyhow, so Monopoly Tropical Tycoon is designed by Rob Daviau, who's done quite a few great games.
This is a legacy game?
No, but what you did is you moved around the board. Each player had a special power. You were trying to get victory points instead of money. If someone was eliminated from the game for whatever reason, the game instantly ended, and you just scored victory points. When you land on properties, you could pick what you built there. Not just houses and hotels. You could build a waterfront, a casino. Like if you built a casino and someone landed there, then it would be random what they might. They might even make money when they land on your property. And then there's a DVD. Yeah, okay.
What's the DVD do in this?
The
It does
DVD
random
just sits
events.
there and it will play a random event every once in a while.
Yeah, it's like a cut scene almost.
And also,
Got it.
the
So it's-
DVD
okay.
also shows like what time of day it is. So depending on also the weather, so some of the buildings will change what they give you based on that.
And if there's a cruise ship in port, some buildings will pay out more. Yeah.
And
Wow.
it's really well done. And Eric did not believe me, but I got him to play it and
Yes,
agree with me.
And my kids enjoy it. In fact, cute story. Just today, I happened to be in the Restoration Games booth where Rob Daviau is, and someone came up to him with a board of Tropical Tycoon and asked him to sign it while I was standing there.
Did you
Did he?
also sign it?
I did not sign it because I
Okay.
had nothing to do with the game.
But you bought it.
I did buy it, and it still comes out. We play it.
They could make it a companion app and like upgrade this from a DVD game.
Nice.
That would
Yeah,
be cool.
It'd be really easy to do that with this
It
one.
might be in existence. I didn't look it up because I was lazy.
I mean, they could easily re-release this game too with an app. That would be.
It is Hasbro, though.
That's not gonna happen.
Have you seen the Monopolies they've been releasing the
Oh,
past
no,
season?
no.
Yeah.
Number of
This is true. Yeah.
My number 2, Monopoly Tropical Tycoon.
And finally, number 1.
I didn't bring dice to roll.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right, well, let's let Sam go first.
All right, my number 1 is ranked 6,303, and this is a game called Mythe, and it's M-Y-T-H-E, and I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Mythe because you are taking the control of an adventurer mouse.
So it's mice with a lisp.
Yes, pretty
Mythe.
much.
No,
But it's supposed to
that's
be
the truth.
myth.
Is it?
But you know they've done a little wordplay there. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to go and find the mystical cheese and bring it back to your village.
That's what the game says.
Yes.
Yep.
And it's really neat. It comes in a very small box, but it has a really neat pop-up board. If you can go back to that real quick, I don't know if you're able to, but it's got a really neat pop-up board. The production quality for as small as the game is really cool, and it comes with little mouse meeples, I guess you could say. I guess they would be called meeples.
Meeples.
Wouldn't they? Yeah.
Mousefuls.
Mousefuls.
Mice Bulls.
Mousefuls.
Mythe.
Mousefuls. I don't know. Anyway,
Oh, my goodness.
it's a really
And the
fun
cheese is
game.
actually gold.
Yeah,
Yes.
the cheese is actually a little
Actual gold
I mean,
cheese.
it's not
Actual gold?
actual gold.
If you collect enough copies.
this retails for $200. No, it's gold colored. But anyway, it's a very fun game, and I really enjoyed it. It came out a couple years ago at Gen Con, I think, and it just went away. And that's unfortunate because it was a really fun game, and for the size and the price point, you got a really good batch of components in there as well. So check it out, Mythe, my number 1.
All right, my number 1 pick is ranked 7,900 or so. And that was my lowest, by the way. You went up into the crazy numbers.
I'm at
but
almost
where the fun stuff is.
15,000, yeah.
yeah, well, you know.
Stop
It's a
lying.
garbage game.
Stop
My number 1 pick is a game called Gem Rush, 2nd edition.
This
Ooh,
is a
the
good
second edition.
Yeah, Gem Rush, the first one's a great game.
What are
Obviously,
one. It's kind of ugly.
what's that?
Are they like dancing?
They're rushing. Ha ha.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both.
It's a musical.
Rushing and dancing.
Musical.
Yeah. Gem Rush the musical.
I will get these gems. Gems.
That's right. This one is a tile laying game, as you can see there. There you can play co-op or competitively. It actually works fine both ways. I like competitive better.
Really?
One of the few games that works, in my opinion. Competitive is the way I prefer to play. And again, it's the same thing as the first edition, but this is a nicer production. Victory Point games, their games are not very high quality from the production point of view, but they do have this line, the Premier line they call it, and to them, Premier means normal to every other
everybody
publisher. So I would recommend it if you want to grab one, pick up this one. It's a fun game. It's you're collecting cards. You are using them to dig new caverns. You have to spend the right amount of gems to do so. It feels like a nice hand management game, and the amount of little powers that show up in these corridors and these rooms is enough to make it fun. Not so much that I'm constantly stopping and checking what are all these rooms saying and doing. So that's a tricky balance to strike for me, and this one does that. So I really, really like this game. I was very happy to upgrade from my first edition, which I've had for a long time, to this one finally, because yeah, it's a little hard to find. So when I did, I was very content about that. So Gem Rush, 2nd edition, is my number 1 pick.
I didn't build my list in order of like more and more obscure. This one comes in at 4686 on the list. This is the one I like the most. It's Logistico, which is a game from Corne von Mussel and Koali Games. It's a pick up and deliver game. You've got this fantasy stretch of islands with different territories. You have a boat, you have a plane, you have a truck, and each can hold a different number of cubes. You're just trying to pick up the yellow cube and get it to a yellow disc, which represents somebody wanting that thing. The more actions you do on your turn, the more expensive it is to do those actions, and you're trying to make a profit. Tom isn't good at making a profit in this game, and that's why he doesn't like it. But if you do well, then you earn some points at the end of the game. And I love it. It's a pure pick up and deliver. It's weird because on Board Game Geek, all of the highest ratings are my game group.
Okay, well, let's talk
We
about
love
this.
it.
Wait, what? Wait.
Yeah, isn't it strange?
This game is
Everybody else is missing
game
something.
is-
I don't know what it is.
garbage.
Have you
All
been?
right.
Not garbage.
Let me explain why. In this game, you have these 3 vehicles that you move these cubes around. You are allowed to sell these vehicles.
Yeah.
You can literally sell all 3 vehicles as your
No.
very first actions of the game.
can sell 2 of the 3.
Well, you can sell 2 of the 3. You could then stop and possibly score higher than if you play through the game.
You have $6, and then
You could
everybody
score
else,
less than $6 in that game
Yeah, but everybody else is going to pass you if you do that.
because they will also sell their vehicles after delivering 1 cube.
And then I will beat them because I'll actually play.
I will beat you all by not playing. Look, I don't hate pick up and deliver games. I think they're actually pretty interesting, but this one, it's so much effort to deliver the cubes, and you get so few points in this game. It's ridiculous.
You get more and more points as the game goes on.
This is groupthink. This company, Quali, exists because your group bought this game.
Wow.
It's well worth
No, they make
playing.
amazing games, really, usually.
Oh,
most
no,
of the
they
time.
do. And
Just not-
if you find Logistico out there, give it a whirl. If you like pick up and deliver, it is the purest version of that I have found. Logistico, number 1.
Well, speaking of,
Purist
Purest, most pure.
kind of
speaking of-
stands for boring, you know. Before they added flavor.
Well, speaking of pure things, mine's about pure lying. I know my game is ranked so low, 14,491.
Yeah, he does.
Because some people just hate this game. This actually was the first game I've ever
Oh,
played
wait,
with
can I
Jason
guess?
Levine. Yes.
Intrigue.
No. It's Fantasy Business.
Oh, okay.
Fantasy
Nuga.
Business. Now, actually, Fantasy Business was remade as Star Trek Galactic Enterprises, but even that one is at 8,665. So in this game, you will draw cards and you will bid on these cards. And so you might get swords or spell components, whatever. You'll get these cards. And then at the end of every round, you will sell the card. If you get swords, you can sell it every turn for the rest of the game. You can sell swords. But anyone else who's also selling swords, people are only going to buy the lowest price. So if swords, you can sell swords, for example, between $5 and $10, and I'll say to Sam, let's both sell them for 10.
Okay.
And then Sam says yes. I sell mine for 10. Sam sells his for 9. He's the only person who gets money. I don't get any.
Sucker.
I then explode with anger, and then next turn I sell mine for the lowest price, and so does he. Meanwhile, Z and Eric, they do agree to sell both of their things that they have for the highest price, and they whoop both of us. This game is so much fun, but it is very, very fragile. So we played this with one of my friends, and someone betrayed him and lied to him, and he said, well, for the rest of the game, I will destroy you, and sold all his stuff for the lowest price, and then lost because you can't do that and win, because someone else, if any other person sells it for slightly over the lowest price, they'll beat you. So there's this seesawing aspect to it, and it's really tricky. I love it, but when it's done, it's like, whew, that's 45 minutes of just sheer lying. I guess you could not lie in the game.
What would you want to do that? What kind of game is
I
this?
will sell this for 7. Yes, you did. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
It's really entertaining, and like I said, it was remade as a Star Trek Galactic Enterprises. They did it with the Ferengi.
Yeah.
Same exact game. And there's also some special cards. There's also a card. Is it this game that lets you straight up cheat?
No, that's...
No, it's Dragon's Gold. Sorry.
Yeah, Dragon's Gold. But if you want to really spice it up, you take that card from Dragon's Gold, put it in this game, and you can lie and cheat.
I think I would notice if you had a Dragon's Gold card.
Hey, man.
Like, what do you do
How
with
much are you
that card?
selling that for? Yeah, just take it. Take stuff.
All right, well, those are our top 10
Top
unsung games.
7, yeah.
7.
But we already made the graphic.
Wow,
so-
we even made our graphic say top 10.
Because we're trying to lie.
Wow.
His
that
top,
like
the 7 picks are about lying. His 7 picks.
That's
No.
Yours are about Vikings and or pirates.
And poop.
And I'm sorry. So Vikings and or pirates.
Plunderers, pirates, and poop. Oh my.
And you were about
Bad games.
I was trying to couch
Wow.
that, but okay.
Yeah.
And 7 great games you should be checking out.
Wow.
That's garbage.
Good summary.
We have a few minutes before we're going to end here. So we'll get asked this a lot. What do we think about the show? I think it's pretty cool this year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very big. We're in the back corner by the bathrooms. I think Sam picked that.
Got a little ring going on the side, you know what I'm saying?
It is interesting as because people are flooding into the exhibit hall from one direction. So the doors open. We get the big announcement. 5 minutes till PAX. Welcome to PAX. We've opened. And then nothing.
Yeah.
And we're like, where is everybody?
Yeah, we got a half
And
hour.
we hear sort of rumbling. I think the people are coming. And we're even facing the other direction. So
Yes.
I think people are coming. And then we see one attendee walk by.
Yeah.
I think they're coming. Yeah, so
They're
15,
like, what's
20
this?
minutes
We're like,
later.
oh, we're the Dice Tower. And they just keep
We're
going.
like, bye.
Yeah. Right.
I'm not here for
Which way's
this.
the bathroom?
See ya.
That's the answer to the question.
It's right there. That's why we're there.
Which way to the bathroom?
The bathroom.
All right, so we learned that.
Nice throwback, guys.
Yeah. No, it comes full
Everything comes around. This is our last show of the year, and again, we appreciate each of you coming to this.
Yes.
And we appreciate Sam. You know, if you haven't heard, and Sam is. Oh, I'm sorry. I guess Sam is heading up in a week. Now, we're going to be doing 3 more live top 10s next week.
Yeah.
Sans Eric, because we want good games on the list.
It's okay, Eric.
We'll be doing our top 10 game experiences of 2019, our top 10 surprise games, and then our top 10 games of the year. So that will be on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of next week. So we'll be doing those. And then on Saturday, Sam is driving to Washington. Sunday. Washington, the state. I keep getting asked if it's the state
correct.
or D.C.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of you are near here and you were hoping.
Pacific Northwest, Washington State, yeah.
So one cloud.
Yay!
Yay! So we'll miss him, but you might see him in the future, and he'll pop up in the top 10. And
Be around.
We'll do top 10 Vikings games. He'll rip through the curtain.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we look forward to that. If you have a chance, we'll still be at the booth at various times. Come by, say hi to us. We appreciate it. And that's what you do. Is there a closing?
No. You can
That's
just say
it. No, this is not a podcast.
You're gonna drop the ball.
Now
do we
you
do
say,
normally?
look, now you say, thanks everybody, I'm Tom Vassell.
Thanks, everybody. I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Eric Summerer.
I'm Z Garcia.
And I'm Sam Healy. See you on the flip side.
There you go. Thank you.